Hello everybody and welcome back to Steve's Gear. And today we're going to take a look at a newer flashlight from Wuben. Now this is the Wuben X1 Pro. Big thank you to Wuben for sending this one in to me to take a look at. Now I was thinking about it and I think this might be the most powerful flashlight that I own. Maybe the most powerful flashlight I've ever owned. So we're going to go through some of his specs, some of his features, some of his functions, and see if this might be something to be interesting for you. So taking a look at the box here, it is a nice box. And on the back here, you do have a couple specs here if you want to pause and read that. But it is a nice packaging. I always appreciate when they send something nice. Inside the box, you get a couple accessories. One, you're going to get this lanyard. Nice Wuben branded lanyard. It does have a nice braided cord here. But it also has these little tabs on each side. So if you push these tabs in and pull out, you're going to get a pair of USB-C charging cables. That's a pretty cool touch. You know, you always got some USB-C cables with you. And even if you decide not to use it, on the light itself, it's a good thing to kind of clip onto a sling bag or a backpack or something. And, always has some cables. Now you're also going to get a holster. We'll go over the holster a little bit more towards the end of the video, but it's just a nylon adjustable holster. It does its job. It does work. It has a little plastic belt clip here. And yeah, like I said, we'll look at it a little bit more towards the end. And then you're also going to get a pack of screws. Now a pack of screws is not something you commonly get in a flashlight, but I'll show you more about that here in a few minutes. Now taking a look at this Wuben X1 Pro, as you can see, it is kind of like Wuben's, styling. You can kind of see this same style on a couple of their different flashlights. I don't mind it. I kind of like the styling of it. I kind of like the squared, more flat type design. It does look kind of modern or industrial. It's a good looking flashlight in my opinion. Now it is pretty good size. Now if I grip it with my hand, as you can see, I can get my hands all the way around it. There's plenty of overhang on the end of my hand. So this flashlight comes in at 5.4 inches tall. It's about 2.3 inches wide and it's a little over an inch thick. So it's a good size flashlight coming in at about 13.5 ounces. Now the reason why it's so heavy is because down here on the bottom is Wuben's little lock system. So you can move this tab up and down to lock it or unlock it. Once it's unlocked, you push the button and it opens up and you can expose the batteries. Now this is being powered by two 21700 4800 milliamp hour batteries. So it's got a lot of juice on this one, which it needs because this one has a max output of 12,300 lumens. I think, like I said, I think that's the brightest flashlight I have. I don't think I have anything over 12,000 lumens. So very powerful light. And one thing I really like about it is its simplicity. So this one, it doesn't have laser, it doesn't have UV, anything like that. It just has basically your spot mode, a flood mode, and a combo mode. And it's all selected right here off this switch. So it's very easy to switch between modes. Now here on the side is going to be your power button. You turn it on, you're going to get your battery indicator. So you'll have solid blue, then you'll have flashing blue, then you'll have flashing red, and then you'll have solid red. So very easy to see what battery level you're on. Now right above that is going to be your USB-C charging port. Now this USB-C charging port does support a 30 watt max fast charge. So it does charge up pretty quickly, which is important, having those large size batteries. But another cool thing about it is it does support a 5 volt 3 amp output as well. So, if you do decide to use this like as an outdoor or camping light or something like that, if you need to rob a little bit of power off your flashlight and charge up your cell phone a little bit, or some AirPods or something like that, you have the opportunity to do that, which I think is a cool touch. I don't always think about using my flashlight to charge something, but if I'm out and I need to charge up my AirPods or something, it'd be cool just to top them off real quick with the flashlight. Now, underneath that, you will get that little locking door there. I'll make sure to lock that. On this side, you're pretty much clean, except for you do have a few vents. Now, the vents are actually for this piece here on the back. So those replaceable screws you have are actually for a built-in fan. Yep, it has a fan. Now the fan can be turned on manually or it will turn on automatically during the heat levels. And this is like kind of like a little radiator here for it. And you can feel a little bit of air coming on once the fan is on. Now it's not incredibly loud. Now to turn it on, you can actually do 5 clicks on the button and it will power on. Like I said, I can feel just a little bit of air coming out of it. I'll put it up to the mic and see if you guys can hear it. I don't know if you'll even be able to hear it. I guess we'll see if you guys were able to hear it. But, it's able to cool down, which I think is pretty cool, Something this powerful, thermodynamics is going to be its enemy. So having something that helps cool it down is a pretty cool touch. Now 5 more pushes will power the fan off. Now the fan is removable and cleanable, so you can take out those screws. clean it if you need to. I haven't even taken it apart yet to see, what it's like, but it looks like a little fan, and it's also user replaceable too. If you ever need to replace it, it looks like they sell replacements for about $14. And I imagine if you use it a lot outdoors in the dust and stuff like that, you will want to take it apart and clean it eventually. But if something happens and it stops working, you can replace it. So at least you can replace that and not have to just replace the whole light. Now, operation of this thing, like I said, is very, very easy. So right now we have it kind of in the flood mode. You can turn it on. You basically get your eco, your low, your medium, your high, double tap for your turbo, and then you turn that off. And then you can do the same thing with the spot and the same thing with the combo beam. You're going to get eco, low, medium, high, and turbo. Now, the outputs on them are a little bit different. So if you are in eco mode on spot or flood, both of them are going to be 10 lumens. Low mode for both of them are going to be 200 lumens. Medium mode is going to be 500 for both of them. Now, when you get to high mode, your turbo mode is actually going to be 1800, or your high mode is going to be 1800 lumens on flood, and your high mode is going to be 1200 lumens on spot. Now, when you go into turbo mode, you're going to get 8,650 lumens on turbo and flood mode, and on spot mode you're going to get 3,650 lumens on the turbo. So a little bit of a difference between the two up when you get past medium mode. Now if you kick it into the combo mode, you're going to get 20 lumens on eco, 400 lumens on low, 1,000 lumens on medium, 3,000 lumens on high, and that 12,300 lumens on turbo. A lot of lumens, a lot of specs on that. So you guys might have to look at a diagram or something. It's a lot to try to listen to, but yeah. And then it will run on that 12,300 for, about a minute. And then it will kick down to 5,000 lumens. And then it will kick down to the 3,000 lumens. So, even with the built-in fan, the thermodynamic, the thermal management on it, you're still going to get about a minute on that turbo at that 12,300 lumens. So putting off quite a bit of heat. Now, I tried to film something this morning outside with this, and it's really hard, at least, to show how bright it is. For me, I think a lot of the flashlights kind of look the same when you do like a night shot or something. But I'm going to, turn the lights off in here. I'm going to run through the modes real quick, and you guys can maybe kind of see the output of how powerful they are. I'll do my best, but it's hard to see on video. But in person, trust me, this thing is bright. So I'll be back in just 1 second. All right, so we're back. So I'm in a darker room. It's not completely dark by any means, but maybe you'll be able to see a little bit of the output on this. Now we're going to start out here on the flood mode. Now, if we cycle down to the eco, low, medium, high. Now, if you kick on that turbo, as you can see, I don't know if it's going to show up on video, but it's lighting up this whole room. Like, I don't have to have lights on in here. I could just run this and it'd be like, it's like daylight in here. Now, it is really powerful. And the fan kicked on just for a second there when I was on turbo. Now, if I kick it over to spot, you're definitely going to see more of a defined hot spot there with this one. Now, you can kick it up between the eco, low, medium, and high. The fan did kick on when I had it on there. I kick it in the turbo. There you go. You get it. It's like the sun out there. Now, if we kick it into the combination mode, this is where it starts to get crazy. So if we go down to eco, low, medium, high, and then this is that turbo mode. So the turbo mode is so bright that it's like, it hurts my eyes to look at it against the wall. Like, it is incredibly bright. And the fan is running a little bit, helping cool down a little bit. But yeah, it does have that combination of spot and flood. So you do have a really good spot and plenty of spill around it. But it's just insane how bright this is right now. But it's warming up, definitely warming up. I mean, it's getting pretty hot towards the head. Something you wouldn't even want to hold on to with the fan running. So that's something to keep in mind when you're using this. All right, let's go ahead and turn the lights back on. We'll wrap it up. All right, took me a few seconds for my eyes to readjust. This thing is bright. So down here on the head, I don't think I really showed you guys, but it does have 5 LEDs in here, and this is being powered by the XHP 50.3 LEDs. So you do have the spot side and the flood side there. And this is your typical, IP65 weather resistant, drop resistant, things like that. It's got 4 clicks for lockout, 5 clicks to run that fan. It does have strobe and SOS on it. I didn't show those in the video because I think most people know what they look like, but it is a very bright strobe on this one. So you definitely would be able to get some attention with this if you needed it to. But like I said, this is a nice looking light. I do like the looks of it. It is hefty. I mean, you are looking at that 13.5 ounces. So if you're someone who likes to camp or go into caves, or you spend a lot of time outdoors at night, or you have a job where you have to really have something that has a lot of light, this is a great option for you. Now, just for a quick comparison here, if you're familiar with the Wuben X2 Pro, this is a size comparison between the two. So as you can see, this is a really pocket-friendly EDC model, and this one is the big beast, the big daddy. So, I mean, yeah, just kind of a quick comparison there. Now, I told you guys I was going to show you a little bit more about the holster here. Now, when I got it, it was relatively tight. It was kind of hard to get in, and it's still a little hard for me to get in and out, especially if I'm wearing it. But you do kind of, if you grip it up here, kind of on the top. Now it's hard, material here, and has a little hard spot here. If you grip it up here when it's on your belt and you kind of slide it in, it will slide in. It takes a little bit of coaxing to get it to go in there. I recommend probably putting the lockout on when you do it. Sorry, that was my fault. I had it in there wrong. But as you can see, I do struggle with getting this thing in here a little bit. Oh, I forgot to unvelcro it. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Sometimes I will admit that. Once you unvelcro it, it's much more easier to put it on. So once you get it on there, you can just run this little strap here back through it, and then you just cinch it down. And it does hold good in there once it's in there. Now, if you do decide you want to use the holster, I kind of recommend, putting it in the holster, letting it sit for a couple days. It kind of, gets that elastic worked in a little bit, and so it fits much better. So, and undo the Velcro, unlike me. So once it's in there, you can hook it onto your belt, and it does hold pretty well. And you could carry it, lens down or lens up, depending on how you want to do it. Fit pretty much the same way either way. But I would definitely recommend taking advantage of that lockout mode, because if this thing kicked on the side of your leg or something, it's going to get warm. So it's still a little bit warm just from that little demo I did. So it's not hot, but it will get really hot if you keep it on that turbo mode for a while. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today on this one. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, what you would use it for. Like I said, this is going to be probably one of my primary camping lights. I'm just going to take this with me, and I got a little battery backup. It's got plenty of power. It's got great battery life, especially if you just use it like on medium or low mode or something like that. It's going to last a long, long time. Definitely the whole weekend. And it'd be kind of cool to show your friends, lighting up the sky with 2,300 or 12,300 lumens. So other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.